Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to your Vinyasa practice. Today we're going to start out in downward facing dog as we have been working our basics of Vinyasa and starting to add on some more, what I would say, advanced physically shapes. And not advanced in the inaccessible way, but advanced in terms of body mechanics and muscle strength and mobility. So, last week we focused a little bit on back bending, and we're going to continue with that because repetition is really the key to building muscle memory and creating space in the body and skill in action, which is skill in action is one definition of our yoga practice. So, one way, the first sutra and the Yoga Sutras, if you're interested in that, I can provide a link to a few different translations of the Yoga Sutras. So let me know. Just drop me a little note in the chat below and happy to share some resources with you about Yoga Sutras. That's more on the philosophical side of yoga. So if you haven't already, we're starting in down dog. Alternatives for down dog: knees to the mat, hands walk forward. You're in puppy pose, which is still pretty active. And creates that same kind of space in the spine that downward facing dog does without all the weight in the wrists. Okay, so make a wise choice for yourself and make that choice for yourself, nobody else. And then start to breathe in and out through the nose. Relax the head. You want your head to be heavy so that the back of the neck can start to lengthen out. And downward facing dog and puppy pose is really one of those shapes that's you're tractioning your whole spine here. And then we're starting to add some strength, right? Some mobility to the shoulder girdle. We're actively pressing the floor away with our hands. My fingers are spread pretty wide and I'm gripping them out with my fingertips just a little bit. So I'm in this way disseminating weight forward into my knuckles and my fingertips, so not all the weight is on my wrist. Let's take about 3 more breaths here. One more big breath in, big breath out. Let's inhale, ripple the spine forward, find your high plank pose. And again, if you need to set the knees down, you can take supported plank, right? So you're tucking your tailbone under, there's a slight round through the upper back, and you're still active through your hands. So the core is engaged. Whether your knees are up or down, you're still engaged through the core. If you are lifting your knees, there's a squeeze to the inner thighs towards one another. So they might not be touching. For most of us, they won't be. But the legs are active and engaged towards one another. I'm starting to feel a little bit of shake in my shoulders and my core, which is a good sign. My muscles are turning on, they're starting to fire. Let's take one more breath here and then press into the hands, lift the hips high, downward facing dog again. We'll start to flow in and out of those two shapes. So one more breath in, downward facing dog. Exhale, forward, high plank or supported plank. And then lift the hips up and back, deep breath in, downward facing dog. Exhale, forward, high plank. And try that twice more on your own. Lift the hips high, downward facing dog, relax your head. Come forward, high plank. Squeeze those legs, squeeze that core, and downward facing dog again. One full breath here, inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Start to add on our sun salutation. So let's lift the heel bones high, begin to walk your way forward to the top of your mat. When you get there, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Root down through your feet, straight and strong through your legs. Sweep your arms forward and up, come all the way up to standing, reaching the arms overhead. And then exhale, relax your arms alongside your body. Now we're setting up for some sun salutations here at the top of our mat. This is where we typically begin our sun salute in Tadasana, sometimes referred to as Samastiti. So rooting down through your whole foot, slight tuck of the tailbone under, nice and long through the spine, top of the head reaching up towards the ceiling, chin is parallel with the floor, palms face forward, shoulders down your back. Breath in, breath out. All right, we'll move through one full round of Surya Namaskar. See, that includes our lunges. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, fingertips to shins. Exhale, fingertips back to the mat. Step your right foot back, right knee to the mat, low lunge. Arms sweep forward and up. Back up a little bit, deep breath in. And then exhale, plant your hands, stepping right back into down dog. Pause here, big breath in. Big breath out. Inhale, right leg, sweep it up and back. Exhale, right foot, step forward to the top of the mat, left knee down. Low lunge, second side, arms sweep forward and up. Back up through the hips a little bit as you breathe in. Exhale, fingertips to the top of the mat, tuck those back toes, lift that back knee, stepping forward now, top of the mat, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Root down through the feet, straight and strong through the legs, sweep the arms forward and up, reach all the way overhead. Exhale, arms alongside the body, back to Tadasana or Samastiti. Inhale here, get tall through the spine. Exhale here. Second side of our Surya Namaskar. See, this time we're leading with the left leg. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fingertips to the mat. Step your left foot back. So you were just here, but this time here's the option. Kneecap stays lifted, so you're in a high lunge as you sweep your arms forward and up. If the balance is a challenge here, right foot, wiggle it out to the side. So your feet are more like on train tracks instead of like a tightrope. There's a little bit more space between right and left foot. Inhale here. And then exhale, release your hands. We're stepping back to downward facing dog. Right foot meets left foot, back in the mat. Big breath in. Big breath out. Inhale, left leg, sweep it up and back. Exhale, left foot, step it forward, top of the mat. High lunge is the option. Arms sweep forward and up. And when I say option, I mean you can also relax your right knee down and take another round of low lunge. Either way, arms stretching up overhead, big breath in. Exhale, release fingertips to the top of the mat. We're stepping forward now, inhaling to our halfway lift. Fingertips to those shins. Exhaling into our forward fold, head relaxes. Root down through the feet, straight and strong through the legs. Sweep the arms forward and up. Exhale, arms alongside the body. Pause. Catch your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Surya Namaskar A. This is our traditional sun salutation. Inhale, arms up. It includes our chaturanga and our upward facing dog. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend your knees enough to plant your hands. You're stepping or floating back, hopping back into high plank. Pause there. I want you to shift forward onto your tippy toes. Hold that. Squeeze the thighs, squeeze the cores. Slight round through the upper back. Stay active through your hands and your shoulders. Now keep your elbows close as you lower all the way to the belly. Untuck your toes. Come to the tops of your feet. Walk your hands back a few inches. Press the floor away as you inhale. Lift up to low cobra. In low cobra, elbows are still bent. Exhale, release the forehead down to the mat. Again, inhale, press the floor away, halfway lift. You're in that low cobra shape, not quite upward facing dog just yet. Exhale, release forehead back to the mat. And one more time like that. Inhale, lift up. Now this time, see if you can lift up and hover the hands off the mat. Squeeze the shoulder blades together nice and long through the neck still. And then exhale, all the way back down. Tuck your toes at the bottom, engage your leg muscles, engage your core. Deep breath in. Exhale, press the floor away, high plank. And then hips rise, downward facing dog. Pause in your down dog, 2 full breaths. Good, let's inhale, lift the heel bones high, little bend in those knees. We're walking our way forward or hopping if you like. Top of the mat, when you get there, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Root down through those feet, straight and strong through the legs. Arms sweep forward and up. Exhale, relax your arms alongside your body. Again, Samastiti Tadasana. Options with the hands in your Tadasana. Palms can face forward again, arms can be straight, hands can come together at the heart. This is that more traditional Samastiti. Kind of honoring, this is where we begin, we're resetting. We're going to move through 2 more rounds of Surya Namaskar A. This time I'll include the option for upward facing dog, and I'll walk us through it that first round. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant those hands, step or hop back, high plank. In your high plank, shift forward to those tippy toes, get tight through the whole body. Keep your elbows close as you lower all the way to the belly. Untuck the toes, take a deep breath in, and then press the floor away. Another round of low cobra, or if you're coming to upward facing dog, check it out. Arms are straight, kneecaps, thigh bones are lifted. So you're actively pressing the floor away with the tops of your feet and the palms of your hands. Okay, whatever you took, release back to the mat. Tuck your toes, tuck your forehead, let your forehead rest. Inhale here at the bottom. Get tight through the whole body. As you exhale, squeeze those glutes, those thighs, that core, press up, high plank. And then hips rise, downward facing dog, 2 breaths. 2 breaths. See if you can breathe in and out through the nose. All right, inhale, heel bones high, little bend in those knees, stepping or hopping to the top of your mat. When you get there, halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Root down through the feet, arms sweep up all the way overhead. Exhale, relax your arms alongside the body. Pause, get grounded, rooted through your feet. Imagine pulling the energy up through the legs, through the core, all the way out through the top of the head. One more round of Surya Namaskar A with our optional upward facing dog. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant those hands, high plank. Pause in your high plank, shift forward, get tight through the core, squeeze the legs. Keep your elbows close as you lower all the way through chaturanga to the belly. Come to the tops of the feet. Take a deep breath in. Press the floor away, find your back bend. Remember, if you're coming to upward facing dog, you're straight through the elbows, kneecaps, thigh bones are lifted. You're active through the legs. Whatever you took, release back to the mat. Tuck your toes, tuck your chin, rest your forehead. We're just doing this to prepare the body to press up through chaturanga to high plank with integrity to the core. So at the bottom here, really engage all the muscles, include the glutes, the core, the leg muscles. Deep breath in. Exhale, press up, high plank. Hips lift, downward facing dog. 2 breaths here again. All right, now we're going to add on just a little bit of strengthening work for the shoulders. So I want you to take your feet a little bit wider on your mat. You're still in down dog. Feet are a little bit wider. Walk your hands back a little bit. So you're in this kind of like semi forward fold, semi downward facing dog shape. And if it's not making sense, look at me. Okay. I walked my feet wide. I'm walking my hands back a few inches. Now I'm turning my fingertips to point in a little bit. And I'm going to bend my elbows. My head's going to reach down towards the mat. And then I'm pressing my elbows straight. I'm pressing the floor away. So it's kind of like a shoulder press upside down in your downward facing dog. Let's do this about 5 times. Shoulder press. So elbows wide, your head lowers towards the mat. Your legs are staying straight. Your hips are staying lifted. Give me one more time. Elbows wide, head towards the mat. And press that floor away, straighten out through the arms. Let's come to the top of the mat. We'll find a forward fold. Hands and feet walk together. Forward fold, relax your head. And then inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Root down through those feet, straight and strong through the legs. Sweep up, reach up. Exhale, relax your arms. Samastiti or Tadasana, hands alongside the body. Deep breath in. One round of Surya Namaskar B today. That includes more Chaturanga, more up dog, and Warrior One, and Utkatasana at the top of the mat. That begins and ends our Surya Namaskar B. So let's set our feet up for Utkatasana a little bit wider. I like a outer width hip distance apart. Then I bend my knees, start to squat. Bend my knees, sink my hips. I'll just take my hands to the heart at first, and I can start to add on these challenges with the arms. You can stretch the arms straight forward. You can also see if you can extend the biceps alongside the ear. That's typically a little bit more challenging for our shoulders. And then weight back into the heel bones. Chest lifts a little bit. Deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Uttanasana. So from Utkatasana chair pose, we go to Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale here, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant your hands, high plank. Preparing for Chaturanga, we shift forward onto those toes. Everything stays tight. We lower through Chaturanga. Inhale, press the floor away, find your back bend. Bhujangasana or Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. That's low cobra or upward facing dog. Release out of that. Tuck the toes at the bottom, prepare. Everything gets tight with the breath in. Exhale, press up, high plank. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. One breath here. Good. Inhale, right foot steps forward right away. Left heel bone spins flat. Trying to angle the chest forward to the top of the mat. So your left hip slightly opens out to the side, about 45 degrees. Arms sweep up, biceps alongside the ears. Let's find a little bit of a back bend here. Hands behind the head, make a little cradle with your hands. You can interlace the fingers to the webbing. Look up. You might try to pull your elbows back just a little bit. They're probably not going to look like they're moving at all, but you'll feel this across the front of the chest and in the back. Inhale, re-extend your arms. And then exhale, plant your hands, top of the mat. We're stepping back, high plank. High plank, shift forward, squeeze the thighs, lower through Chaturanga. Inhale, press up, back bend. Exhale, release. Engage the whole body at the bottom. Inhale, get tight. Exhale, press up, high plank, down dog. One full breath here. Second side, we're stepping forward right away with that left foot. Left foot top of the mat, right heel bone spins flat. Deep bend in that left knee, arms sweep up. Square your shoulders forward. Allow your right hip to open slightly to the side. Let's layer on that back bend. Interlace those fingers behind the head. Make that little cradle. See if you can scoop up the nape of the neck so you're getting long through the back of the neck and the chest is lifting and broadening. So we're not dumping into our low back, but we're lifting up through the thoracic spine. That's your upper back as we pull our elbows wide and look up towards the ceiling. Stay engaged in your legs, low in your Warrior One legs. Inhale, re-extend those arms. Exhale, plant the hands. Step it back, high plank. Shift forward to those tippy toes, lower through Chaturanga. Inhale, press up, high plank, or back bend of your choice. Exhale, release out of that. Prepare at the bottom, toes tuck, forehead resting. Inhale, get tight. Exhale, press up, high plank. Downward facing dog, one full breath here. All right, lift those heels, step or hop forward, make your way forward any way you want. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Sweep up, arms overhead. Exhale, relax those arms. Utkatasana one last time here. Bend those knees, sink those hips, hands to the heart to start. Once those feet and legs are set, then you add on with the arms. So maybe your lunge is feeling, or your squat, maybe your squat is feeling just a little bit lower and more accessible. Hips are a little bit more open. See if you can continue on that trajectory and lower into Malasana. Now, if you need to adjust your feet here, wider stance with the feet, toes turn out, great, do it. I know that's helpful for me. And you can stay high in your squat too. You can stay in your Utkatasana, but see if there's any room to lower towards Malasana. And then from our squat, we're going to make our way to the center of the mat on our backs. And here's where we're going to start to work in some targeted back bending work. So before we go there, hug your knees into your chest, find happy baby, rock right and left a little bit. See how the low back feels today as we rock right and left. How does the low back feel today? Inhale here. Exhale here, release the feet, plant the feet on the mat. We'll take this one step at a time. Okay, so first we'll start by shrugging the shoulders down the back. Reach the hands down towards the feet. Palms are facing the floor. It's like you're trying to tickle your heel bones with your fingertips. Trying to snuggle your shoulder blades underneath your back towards your spine. Neck stays nice and neutral. Deep breath in, press into the feet, lift the hips up. Now, as the hips lift up, walk the shoulders a little bit more in underneath the back. Squeeze the glutes. Hip bones lift towards the ceiling just a little bit higher. If there's space, interlace the fingers to the webbing. This happens when you can keep your elbows straight, the pinky edges of your hands pressing down, and nestle the shoulder blades in towards the spine. Big breath in, hips lift. And then slowly release. Now on your exhale, go slow. I want you to think about reverse uncurling the spine. So keep your tailbone tucked, keep your pelvis lifted. The first thing that will touch will be the middle back and then the lower back, then the pelvis, then the tailbone uncurls. So that slow release of the spine. Tailbone last. Second round here. Press into those feet, lift the hips up, nestle the shoulder blades underneath the back. Option for that interlace of the fingers to the webbing, maybe opposite thumb on top, so it feels kind of awkward. You can stay right there if you want to try adding on a little bit. Heel toe the feet closer together. Stay grounded through your right foot. That's going to become your base there. Left foot lifts up. Left toes flex towards the face and see if you can press into that right heel bone to lift the hips 1 inch higher. And then switch sides. Left foot comes down, but don't drop those hips. We're down through your left foot. Right foot up towards the ceiling. Flex the right toes towards the feet. Press into that left heel bone. Lift the hips just 1 inch higher. Deep breath in. And then right foot back to the mat. Reverse uncurl that spine. Pelvis releases last. Heel toe the feet out. Knock the knees in. Rock those knees side to side. Okie doke. One last round of back bending, folks. Here's your final options. First or second bridge pose that we did. If you want to work in those are so valuable to continue to work towards. Remember when we were doing the downward facing dog shoulder press? If that felt good to you on your shoulders today, and your shoulders are feeling strong and healthy and mobile, then Urdhva Dhanurasana. Okay, so here's the setup for Urdhva Dhanurasana. This is upward facing bow pose. Our hands, the position of our hands, we start with that. Palms over the shoulders, fingertips are pointing towards the shoulders. My palms are flat on the mat. My thumbs are closest toward my ears, okay? Right, so elbows are pointing up towards the ceiling. And I like to take my feet a little bit wider on the mat when I press up to this, just to allow some space for my knees to splay open a little bit. That's okay. I think we have this fear that we're going to compress the low back too much, but your low back's pretty mobile, so it can withstand that. All right, and that goes without saying for most anatomy. Press into those feet, lift those hips up. Now see the first step for Urdhva Dhanurasana, the hand position. Second step, see if you can press up enough to get to the top of your head without bearing too much weight on it. So you can see I can move my head around. Now, once I'm there, then I can try pressing into the hands, straighten out through the arms, and the hips lift. I like to lift my heels, and then I walk my feet forward, or I press forward and backward on my tippy toes. Ooh, it's hard to talk in this shape though, right? Probably hard to breathe too. Okay, so to release out of that, we're tucking the chin in, tuck the chin in, come to the back of the head first. Everything else follows. Make your way on down to your back. And then hug those knees into the chest once more. Hmm. Gonna round out our practice with a nice restorative twist, some rotation for the spine. Knees will fall off to the left first. If you have a prop there, you want to slide between the knees, great, use it. Pillow, block, couch cushion, your cat. Right arm stretches wide to the right side. Stay grounded through your right shoulder. Let's take 3 deep, slow breaths here through the nose if you can. All right, second side. So first come back to the center of your mat. You need to adjust it all to make space. And the knees off to the right, left arm off to the left. Giving that spine some love, moving it in those directions, that rotation, that backward extension. So important to see if you can fit that into your daily life because we tend to be in constant forward flexion in our spines when we're driving, when we're sitting at our desks. So we really want to move your spine in all of its 5 main directions every day if you can. Not just forward flexion, but backward extension, rotation, which is what we're in right now, lateral flexion, and upward elongation. So anytime you stretch your arms overhead and you get longer through the spine, that's the elongation of the spine. I love to nerd out on anatomy. So if you have any anatomical questions as I'm saying these things, if it feels like it's too fast, or if you want to know more, just ask, drop a message in the chat, email me, get in touch. Let's come out of our rotation. Once more onto our back, neutral position of that spine. If there's any last movement or shape you want to make, now's the time. I'm setting up for Shavasana by taking my legs up the wall. You're welcome to join me in that if you have wall space. You can always just close a door, use the back of that door, or sling the backs of the legs over the end of your couch or your bed or your chair. You can also just simply stretch out on your back, which is so restorative. So really kind of tune into what you're craving right now. Bonus points in legs up the wall. If you elevate your pelvis, I just have this bolster sitting right here. So press my feet into the wall, lift the hips up, slide that bolster into place. And then my hips are even higher than my shoulders. So nice. Whatever you're doing with your body, start to find stillness. Relax those shoulders down the back, slightly tilt the chin in towards the chest. Maybe let your eyes close. Soften the gaze. Big breath in through the nose. Breath out through the nose. Keep breathing slowly, fluidly, nice and deep into the belly. Shavasana. About a minute long Shavasana. Just finding that place of stillness and silence, and I will call us out when that time is up. Begin to deepen your breath here. Add gentle movement back to your fingertips and your toes. Head goes side to side. If you have space above you, you can reach your arms long overhead. And then with your next exhalation, roll off to a side. And press your way to an upright seat. We'll briefly close out our practice together here. Sitting up nice and tall. You can sit on a chair. You can elevate your sits bones on something. So however you're comfortable really is the key. Let's lean back a little bit in the shoulders and the ears. Big breath in, get tall through your spine. Breath out, settle back into your seat. Follow the pathway of breathing in and out through your nose. Acknowledging how you're feeling right now, what you're feeling, and where you're feeling it. Let's close our practice by bringing the hands together at the heart, bowing the chin into the chest. We honor our practice with reverence and gratitude. May we use the fruits of this practice to serve our highest good and share it with those around us that we love and who could use healing. Together, may we remember to send love and healing to all sentient beings around the world that may be suffering. May they be happy. May they be free. Namaste, yogis. It's such an honor and pleasure to guide you through these practices. It's really my hope that you leave feeling better, more enlightened, more in tune, more connected with your body, and that you feel empowered to ask questions and seek help when you need it, and just take the time for yourself to relax. You deserve it. So thank you so much for being here. And please let me know how I can help support your journey. Namaste.